Hello everyone, can you hear me okay? Everybody hear me all right? Fantastic, fantastic. First of all, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for coming out in support of Chris and Julia, this incredibly special day that you've made more special by your presence. And I want a special thank you for those of you from out of town, which I think is all of us, right? Very good, very good. I also want to propose a special toast to the people who made this day possible. First by raising these two fine adults, and also by helping put together this great day. And that's William and Margie Montague. Very good, very good. Excellent. And Jesper and Diane McAprang over here somewhere. Well done guys, thank you. And congratulations to the couple, Chris and Julia. I could not be more happy to be sitting up here and talking about them. I think they're so perfectly matched as a couple in their intelligence and humor and warmth and selflessness. I just think they're perfect. And congratulations. I'm just going to tell a couple quick stories about them that sort of, I guess, informed my view of them in the very early beginnings of our relationship. First, story about Chris. So Chris was a young undergrad, Colgate University, excuse me, and he and his friends got together and decided that they would put a little ingenuity around raising some money. A little extra money, okay. So how do you do that on a college campus on a Saturday night legally? The way you do it is you basically, well, you guys all know this, you take a hot dog cart and you put it between the dorm and the college bar at about midnight. And when everyone comes out of the bar and stumbles down, and you know what self-respecting, bearded up college students gotta pass up a hot dog before going back to their dorm room and going to bed. So they did this, and they turned over a bunch of hot dogs, I understand, and made some decent money. That's not really the point of the story. The point of the story is that the next morning, Chris and his friends woke up and took that money down to the local charity and donated it. And I thought that was pretty extraordinary. I mean, Chris, you are almost 20 years my junior, but I've always looked up to you and I've always admired your character. Okay, Julia, I don't have as many stories to choose from for you, but even if I did, this one is still, it would be the top story anyway, whatever happened. So, okay, so Chris brings Julia home for the first time to meet his parents, and I'm sure Julia was feeling all the nervousness and trepidation of anyone who would be meeting her boyfriend's parents for the first time. Are they going to be nice people? Are they going to be a little weird? Will I have pieces of lunch stuck in my teeth? Will there be awkward moments? Well, as it turns out, that potentially awkward moment turned up about 8.5 minutes into meeting Julia, and when she stepped sort of into the doorway. Okay, does anyone, okay, show of hands. Anyone here know what an ear candle is? Yes. Ear candle? Oh, great, I don't even have to explain it. Okay. So real quick, for people who don't know what it is, it's basically a candle-looking thing about this big, about that big. It's hollowed out in the center, made of wax and pulp papers, something. It's tapered on one end. You take the tapered part, you put it in your ear, you light the other end on fire, okay? And then, thank you, Chris. And then smoke sort of funnels its way down into the ear canal, funnels its way back out, and pulls out with it everything that might be in your ear, a little wax, maybe some car keys, a flash drive, you never know what's going to be in there, okay? And obviously this would be a very awkward moment for anyone, but Julia, I don't know what planet she comes from, but she decided just to put her head down and just take it. There was no, really guys, this is where this day is gonna go, this is what we're gonna do. It was just down, and we had to do it twice, right? She got 2 ears, so we had to do it 2 times. And but she did it with all the grace of the ballerina that she is. And they say that with marriage, you probably all heard this one, but with marriage, you try to find the person, you don't try to find the person you can live with, you try to find the person you can't live without. And I think I speak for my wife and I when I say that now that we've known you these 7 years, we can't live without you. So with that, please raise your glass and wish this couple, this newlywed couple, these great people, a very happy, healthy lifetime together of just joy. I won't wish you joy. I'm sorry. I don't want to wish you joy. Okay. Of happiness and charity and humor. And cheers.
And where's our other best man? Here he is.
Hold it up when she's taking pictures. Nice job. Thank you. I think it's just when they're dancing.
I'm a man of few words.
Trust me. Yeah.
Any questions? No, I forgot everyone. I'd first like to thank the Montees and the McFranks for an incredible weekend and celebration. It's really been a pleasure meeting everybody. Both your families really couldn't be more welcoming. Everything's been perfect, so thank you. For those of you who I haven't met, I'm Alex. I enjoy reading. I have a dog. I like long walks on the beach. When Chris first asked me to be his best man, I was initially surprised. As I thought about it more, I really wouldn't want any of our other friends in this position. But I'm honored to be his best man, of course. I was also told that if I do a good job, I could be his best man at his next wedding. So, that's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. Chris and I met playing youth football. I don't know if people know that. I didn't hear that part. Chris and I met playing youth football, but after being delegated to the second-tier white team, we realized that football made us miserable. Our lack of commitment to the gridiron, however, didn't permeate our friendship. Instead, it only strengthened our commitment to having fun. We quit football, but have never quit being weird together, as the other weekend in the Berkshires proved. Just as a side note, it's probably better that Isaac got the black eye and not the groom. Some of my favorite memories of Chris include when he decided it was a good idea to only shave half his face for a few weeks. Or when he almost broke Dana Smolin's garage door by chaining cinder blocks to it to get her out in AP assassination. So, inside joke. Our time he was nominated to speak at graduation in high school, but was denied the opportunity because his speech was one of the most offensive things ever. And also when we played laser tag with middle schoolers last summer. But seriously, whether it's been kayaking behind his parents' house, biking around Connecticut, road tripping to Montreal, or even spending a week in Paris, we've always enthusiastically accompanied each other on adventures. Now he has a new partner in crime, Julia. Someone who compliments Chris way better than I ever could. And is also way better looking than I am. You look beautiful, by the way. When I first met Julia, I remember thinking that Chris must be serious about her, because, as we all know, there are very few things that Chris takes seriously. Video games, candy, zombies are some, but Julia has superseded them all. I have never seen Chris as happy as he is when he is with her. His face lights up and he exudes love. But I've also noticed that Julia is enamored with Chris. Out of love, she's embraced silly hats. She's disposed of bugs when Chris was afraid.
Last week.
And she's put up with me sleeping on their couch for days at a time when the power goes out. Whether they're traveling or abroad, visiting national parks, debating which cat is the best, or competing to see who can wear their shoes the longest, it is clear that they are soulmates. Julia and Chris, you're both perfect for each other. I'm so happy for you and I love you both.
Okay, we're going to bring our maid and matron of honor, Maria and Hannah, up here. They also have a few things to say. Do you notice she has her own beer holder?
How are you going? I don't know. Are you sitting on your hands? Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, girl.
Way to toss her up there, Chris.
Thank you so much to everyone for coming out tonight. We'd like to especially thank any females out there who are not related to either of these guys, who are really hard to come by. Thank you also to the staff here at the Golden Lamb. You guys are amazing. Fantastic. So as many of you know, the speech that Julia and I wrote for Hannah's wedding was amazing. And really, we were unable to top that. So we decided to go with a different genre of poetry. The haiku. Julia and Chris are so great together. Wow. Congratulations. Actually, we were a little worried that we wouldn't be able to pull off the haiku, but we totally nailed it. So we whipped up a little something in the hay wagon on the way over to the ceremony. So here goes. Excuse me. Julia called me in 2006 to tell me about her frustration with Chris. She said he wasn't a relationship guy. With commitment, he was undoubtedly shy. You see, they'd been together before, but then they broke up. He just wasn't sure. Next thing we knew, they were together again, but Julia swore they'd just end up as friends. She and her friends called Chris by his last name, but can you do that with a guy who's your flame? Julia had no idea what to do, so she just started calling him, "Hey you." Jules brought Chris to our quaint little coast. Out of all of Mom's kids, she still likes Eric the most. We could tell they were serious because they couldn't stop touching, but we got the idea that they'd rather be. Wait. She moved to Fairfield and got Connecticut plates. We knew we had lost her to that godforsaken state. They got like 10 cats and gave them all their attention. Actually, guys, this is an intervention. So the calendar pages started to turn, and the great love between them continued to burn. And burn, and burn, and burn some more, until 7 years later, Chris was finally sure. He drove to the Cape with whiskey in hand and asked William if he could be Julia's man. William asked him to lunch, but right home he flew. A man of few words, Chris had business to do.
Back in Fairfield, he set the table with plates, got the ring from upstairs, proposing couldn't wait. A nice dinner, she promised, a sparkle in her eye. Then walked the Jeffs, her plan went awry.
Julia brought out a pizza bowl for the boys. Chris was bewildered by all of this noise. If you don't know the whole story, ask them sometime. We're starting to run out of words that rhyme.
He excitedly asked her early the next morning. He kept talking and talking while Julia was snoring. She finally realized this was the real thing, then quickly sat up and said yes to the bling. My gosh, how it sparkled. The ring, it did glow. Until 2 days later, she threw it right in the snow. We melted the yard till it finally appeared. Someone get Alice and Shirley a beer.
We're so glad Julia's marrying a Macabrane. We all know their kids won't have a lack of brain. I just have to say that we originally thought we wouldn't be able to write this because how the heck do you rhyme Macabrane? Maria nailed it. Came up with that one. And together they're perfect. We would change nothing. Seriously though, do they ever stop touching?
So we'll raise our glasses and wish them the best. Health, love, and happiness, and all the rest. Because Julia's awesome, and Chris is all that. And we just overlook he likes to dress up his cat.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Julia and Chris to do their first dance. And then we'll let you guys go off and eat a little something. Let you guys hand off your beers.
Nice job.
Yes, yeah, we got a special song that we want everybody to sing. We're going to hand out, if you haven't grabbed a sheet yet, everybody needs to grab a sheet because everybody's going to sing along. You can hand out a few more before we start. If you do not have one, raise your hand, we'll get you a sheet. You're going to sing along to the song they put together.
Oh, no problem. No
Just for
problem.
Julia and Chris.
Should I keep going to this, or what do you think? I don't know who.
Okay. Anybody else? The ones that put it together, if you guys want to get close and up front, that way you guys can kind of lead everybody along, and then we'll let you guys go off and eat your dinner.
I keep moving.
We're going to need the leaders to the shenanigans here. Anybody else? Okay, are we ready to go? You guys are going to do the intro, okay?
Okay, is there anyone that still needs a copy of the song? Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, wasn't far. Okay, we want you to take a few minutes to look over the words of the song. It's a Danish tradition, and Chris's father is Danish. And whenever there's an anniversary or a significant birthday or a wedding, special occasion, we take a song that's popular and we change the words. So in honor of Chris and Julia's wedding, we are going to sing to the Beatles, She Loves You. So take a minute to look at it. It's a pretty fast song. And we hope you can all join us in singing. And it starts right away. So we do a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right.
Okay, you guys ready? Here we
And it's rock and roll, so let's hear that rocky sound.
Okay, you heard her. Here we go.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. We love you, yeah, 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 yeah. It seems like yesterday. You know he is so glad. And with a love like that, you know we are so glad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris. Just a little instruction before dinner. If you were not part of the family photo, you can go find your seats. If you were part of the family photo, you get to be first ones in line in the buffet, so you can work your way over to the buffet.